Mate, I'm not one to sugarcoat things, so let's just come right out with it. This government is running Australia into the bloody ground. If you're an everyday Aussie, trying to put food on the table, keep the lights on, and maybe, just maybe, get ahead in life, then you're in for a rough ride. And if you think tonight's budget is gonna be some kind of magic fix, then I got a harbour bridge to sell you. Before we crack on, do me a solid, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and chuck your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're sick to death of the political circus, check out our Albo Says Relax t-shirt, only $23 for the next 48 hours. Links in the description. Right, let's dive in. Jim Chalmers is about to hand down his fourth budget, and already, the spin doctors are in full swing. Cost of living relief is coming, they say. Yeah? Relief for who, exactly? Because let me tell ya, for the last 2.5 years, all we've seen is the biggest collapse in our standard of living ever. That's not just a bit of bad luck, that's a full-blown economic disaster. And guess who's copping it the hardest? You. Me. And every poor bastard who actually works for a living. Families can't afford groceries. Power bills are through the bloody roof. Health insurance? Forget it. A doctor's appointment? That's a luxury now. And don't even get me started on petrol prices. Might as well sell a kidney every time you need to fill up. But don't worry, Jim's got it all under control, right? Yeah, nah. This mob has spent 2.5 years making excuses while raiding your wallet like a bunch of drunken thieves. And don't take my word for it. Look at the numbers. By 2029, the average Aussie in New South Wales will be paying an extra 10 grand in tax every year compared to when these clowns took over. 10 grand. That's not just a couple of avocado toasts, that's a whole bloody salary for some people. And where's all that money going? Into bloated government programs, into the pockets of bureaucrats, into bottomless black holes of wasteful spending that do nothing for the people actually footing the bill. And speaking of bills, let's talk about home ownership, shall we? If you're a young Aussie dreaming of buying your first home, you might as well wake up now, because under this government, that dream is dead. Property prices have soared to the point where unless you've got a rich daddy or win the lottery, you're stuck renting forever. And guess what? Rents are skyrocketing too. But instead of fixing the housing crisis, these bozos are too busy patting themselves on the back and telling us how well they are managing the economy. You know what else is skyrocketing? The public service. While small business owners are struggling to hire even one extra worker because wages are too high and taxes are crippling, the government just keeps adding more bureaucrats to the payroll. Want proof? Public sector wages are going up at a faster rate than anywhere else in the economy. Meanwhile, the people who actually drive the country forward, small business owners, tradies, workers, are getting absolutely smashed. And it's not just our wallets they are raiding, it's our bloody freedoms too. We've got a government obsessed with more control, more regulation, more intervention in our lives. They love to tell us what to do, how to live, and even what we can and can't say. They want more of your money, more of your rights, and they are not even hiding it anymore. And let's not forget how they treat our money like their personal piggy bank. These are the same people who threw hundreds of billions at wasteful projects, pumped up the size of government, and now have the gall to tell you to tighten your belt. Nah, sorry, mate, that's not how it works. If the economy was a footy match, we'd be down by 50 points at halftime, with half our players injured and the coach refusing to change the game plan. Meanwhile, Jim Chalmers is out there telling us, nah, just trust the process, we've got it under control. Mate, the only thing under control is your ability to keep taxing us into oblivion. So what's the fix? Well, first of all, we need to stop this madness of taxing working Aussies into poverty. Bring back tax caps, let people keep more of what they earn, and stop treating us like an ATM. Second, cut the red tape. Make it easier for small businesses to grow instead of drowning them in paperwork and regulations. And third, get government spending under control. Because here's the truth, no economy in history has ever thrived on more government. It's the private sector that builds wealth, that creates jobs, that drives innovation. But under this mob, the private sector is suffocating while the government just keeps getting bigger. And before any lefties jump in the comments crying about, oh, but the coalition wasn't perfect either. Yeah, we know that. No government is perfect. But here's the thing. At least under the coalition, we weren't watching our standard of living collapse before our eyes. At least we weren't being told we had to wait until 2030 just to get back to where we were years ago. And look, if you think I'm full of it, go check your own bank account. Tell me, are you better off today than you were before? Are you saving more? Are you able to afford the same things you used to? If the answer is no, then congratulations, you're living through one of the biggest economic disasters in Australian history. So if you're sick of the circus, if you're sick of being lied to, ripped off, and taxed into oblivion, then do us all a favor. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments what you think about this mess. And if you're feeling extra spicy, check out our Albo Says Relax t-shirt. Only $23 for the next 48 hours. Links in the description. That's it for today, legends. Until next time, stay sharp, keep questioning everything. And for the love of all things Aussie, don't let these Muppets keep getting away with this. Catch you later.